From the early 1900s, marathons have been the cornucopia for athletes across the world, and the Olympics was the place to do it. London was home to many marathons running through the ages. So I decided to go and see firsthand what the half marathon is really like. So that's the first one.
You look at the young looking me there.
Meet Eric Hardwick, Hastings Town's very own MBE. He started the Hastings Half Marathon back in 1985.
Arrow was obviously the name of the running shoe, which is our first sponsor. And I got there by seeing an advert in the paper for Arrow shoes. And so I rang up the company and said, can I speak to the sales director? They said, why do you want to speak to the sales director? I said, just tell him that I'm from Hastings, you know, Battle of 1066 and all that. So she put me through to them. And he said, Battle of Hastings, King Harold. I said, that's right. I said, Arrow. He goes, that's right. He said, what do you want to speak to me about? I said, would you like to be our first sponsor of the Hastings Half Marathon? He said, what a good idea. And so we got our first sponsor.
Well, it started over 33 years ago when I have to confess I had this idea, because I was into running with the running boom and the first London Marathon, of having a half marathon in Hastings. And it wasn't very easy to get off the ground. The police used to say, no, it can't be possible, it's too much of a problem. The council would say, well, we'll give you permission if the police give us permission. And there was a little bit of a contretemps between the two. But then I happened to meet the Chief Constable of Sussex at a meeting in Lewes. And I said to him, why can't we have a half marathon in Hastings? And he said, no reason you can't. I said, well, what do I do? He said, send me a letter with a copy to the Chief Constable of Hastings. And I did that. And I think 2 days later, I had a call from the head of police in Hastings saying, yes, come and see me. I think we'll give you permission. So they gave us permission. The council immediately said, we'll give you permission. So we were able to get going. I look forward to it every year. It's got heart, it's got this feel-good factor. A lot of events have big events, but they don't have the crowd support that Hastings has, which is incredibly unique. The gun goes at 10:30 to start the race, and we hear the sounds of chariots of fire. That makes everything tingle, it really does. That's one of the things that everybody feels, that when you hear that music at the start of the race, it's absolutely brilliant, whether you're a spectator or whether you're a runner. Something very special, mate.
Given Eric's passion and dedication towards the Hastings Half Marathon, I caught up with him on the day to see if he was still as enthusiastic.
It's been very difficult this morning, and we came here this morning at 5 o'clock and all the barriers had blown down, and that's over 200 barriers. The big start and finish gantry we have has been blown away, a few marquees have been blown away, but hey, we've coped with all this that's been thrown at us. We've got volunteers, we've worked, we've made alternative arrangements, and we're all set to go. I mean, it's good to see the atmosphere, everyone seems reasonably happy. Yes, it's tough conditions today with the wind, because it will blow people up the hills, but it'll be against them into the wind coming back, and that will be tough for them. So I don't expect any fast times today.
I left Eric to continue setting up, while I spoke to some charities and the race commentator.
My name's Richard Pringle and I run a fitness company in Hastings called RP Combat Conditioning. We also have a running club based around the fitness company, and today we're running on behalf of my son, Huey. My son unfortunately passed away last summer, Huey Pringle, and Team Huey is basically running in memory of him. So it's quite a big day for us, quite an emotional day, but this time last year he was with me and he was on my shoulders and watching the race. Well, I came in and then he watched it with me. So the red is his favourite colour. So he used to have red glasses. So this is all for him really today. So.
Yeah, it's a bit of fun. It gets try to have a few laughs with people, as you can see, and get people involved. There's lots of people for charities and want mentions and stuff like that. People drop things. Somebody's lost a wallet. Somebody's lost a phone. Then we found a wallet, lost a phone. So there's all that to sort of deal with when they come in on block, and then we're trying to mention as many people as we can. It's manic, but we try and make light of it. We can't mention everybody. We mention as many as we can, and it's all good fun. So that's it. All I say is I might be crap, but I'm cheap.
Team Rafiki means team of friends. We're all in scouting. We go out to Kenya. We've been going out since the millennium, and we work with the children who don't have opportunities like our children. Most of the children don't have education after 13, 14, and most of them have very little at all.
Before we knew it, the race was about to begin.
Absolutely brilliantly. Just it's not that far now. It really isn't. Honestly, you've done all the hard bit. You just got that little way.
Throughout the day, it was clear that this particular local event brought everyone from the surrounding community and across the world all together for a special, albeit grueling, 13.1 mile race. So why are marathons, and particularly this one, so popular? I spoke with senior journalist Juliet Parkin at BBC South East Today, as she has a connection to both, having run many marathons before.
I've often wanted to do the Hastings one because I've interviewed Eric Hardwick several times through my job, and it's always been an event we've covered here at BBC South East. So yes, it does have an appeal.
What health benefits does it pose, or even risks, to running?
Fitness in terms of anaerobically, you get a healthy heart, healthy lungs. It's great for the respiratory system. It helps you with your breathing, your general fitness. It is a good feeling when you know that you are fit enough to run a long way and also to run fast. Also the muscle tone, the strength in your muscles, the strength in your leg muscles, your arm muscles that you get from running. And also in terms of your mental well-being, I strongly believe that running is very good for the mind also, to help relieve stress and anxiety. It can also make you feel very positive after training. So I think both physically and mentally it can be very good for you, though it can also be quite hard on the joints. People complain quite often after a lot of running of knee pain, or hip pain or back pain. So you can counter that by doing things like training on grass, or perhaps doing more stretching than you might normally do, just to try and counter those sort of negative effects, if you like.
So it seems as though this event is not just an excuse to visit the seaside, but is a challenge for those looking to push their limits, especially as the Hastings Half Marathon is known to be a tough one.
It's too hilly. I've never ever really, no, I've that's not to say I've never wanted to do it. It would be great one day to do it, but I'm not a great runner over the hills, and I hear it is very hilly, so it's not one I want to do right now, but maybe in a few years' time.
I didn't face any of the hills myself, but because of the great atmosphere surrounding me, I couldn't help get involved with the running myself.
I was very lucky. I received this in 2007 from the Queen on the same day that Sir Ian Botham received his knighthood, and it was the most wonderful day, and the Queen was absolutely fantastic. We had a nice little chat, and everyone said I kept her chatting for too long. But for a person like me, being a very normal person, this is just an incredible thing. You never envisaged it could possibly happen, and of course, with something like this, you don't know about it until you get a letter in the post saying, "Would you like to accept this?" And someone must have put a lot of work into proposing it.